Actually, I'm on the fence on the issue because this doesn't affect South City, and so therefore, our support is really not needed because, we don't contract with them. At the same time, I believe that for elected officials, we believe in the proverb that Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. With the allegations being sustained by the investigation, by the independent investigation, I'm really worried because, when we met Sheriff Corpus at the Women's Conference, remember that? I was very, very much a fan of her because first female sheriff, and I was so disappointed by the outcome of this. So personally, I have already voted. So
thank you.
That's my comments.
So I do remember the allegations with Sheriff Monks and Sheriff Bolanos. I remember those. And I'm gonna be very honest, I supported Sheriff Corpus because I wanted change at the Sheriff's Department. I wanted something new. And I was extremely, extremely disappointed in what I was reading and what was happening. I think what did it for me was when Carlos Tapia, head of the DSA, was arrested, and then those charges were dropped. That really opened my eyes in terms of what was happening. And I appreciate there was a sheriff from South San Francisco who spoke earlier. I appreciate you being here, because for me I need to have the connection to the Sheriff's Department. I can support it or not support it as an individual. But for me to put my name on it as a council member for the city, there needed to be a connection. And for me, it was kind of lined up in a sense, well, we do have individuals that go to the county office for jury service. The individual mentioned there is collaboration with the sheriffs when there's an investigation happening in South San Francisco, if it's buses or trains. That matters. And when you don't have confidence in leadership, that speaks volumes. And so I'm going to support this. Because as Councilmember Coleman mentioned, the voters do have a say in what happens. They're going to say they want to remove this person through the avenue of the Board of Supervisors, because the way it's set up, I mean, the recall would have been a lot better. The way it's set up, it's going to take too much time. And there's been too much damning evidence in terms of this situation. And so if the voters decide to pass it, the voters have spoken. And that's how I look at it. So I will be supporting this measure.
Sure, I can speak a little bit on this. I did take the time to watch the various press conferences from both sides. I took the time to read the 400-page report, and for those who haven't, I mean, it can get dramatic, but I do recommend reading it because it does highlight, there is a lot of time spent on the relationship aspect, but there is a lot there when it comes to corruption, misuse of county funds, not going out to bid properly for public contracts, and it just doesn't sit right with me. There's something to be said when the entire rank and file and much of the leadership of the Sheriff's Department unanimously does not have faith in its current leadership. That says something. And I know some are worried about the process. And I don't want to have our hands tied on a process, because I don't believe that we should be holding San Mateo County hostage for the next 4 years or for the next year by waiting. And there was a culture with our board of supervisors and that did not want to act in the years in which her predecessors were in office. But this year we have a different board of supervisors. And if you notice on the board of supervisors, it's across the political spectrum, despite the differences in opinion that they have, they are united in putting Measure A on the ballot. And if you look at Measure A, it is an abridged, it is a condensed form of recall because the next general election is in 2028 for this office. And the power to remove a sheriff by the board of supervisors expires in 2028. And so you're not taking away, I just don't see this as a way of taking away any power from voters. The beauty of Measure A is it's a ballot measure that all the voters in San Mateo County are going to be voting for. That's the beauty of Measure A. It is voter power. And so, and I see some of, some Millbrae individuals in this room, and they do have a contract with the sheriff. I know our unincorporated areas, Half Moon Bay, San Carlos, they do contract with the sheriff. And in San Mateo County, I mean, in South San Francisco does not exist in a vacuum. And I believe that the public safety has to be, when we think of public safety, it has to be the entirety of San Mateo County, not just South San Francisco. And for that reason, I will be supporting Measure A with my vote, which I've already voted, and I also will be supporting Measure A tonight. Thank you.
I want to be transparent with those watching and those here in the chamber. I led on putting this item on the agenda for multiple reasons, which I will be transparent on this very night. I was a strong supporter of Christina Corpus as she was chief of the Millbrae Police Department. When she was running for office, I have leadership aside from my office here on council on the San Mateo Latin Democratic Club, which I was a founding member since 2020, and she sought our support. It was really inspiring. It was really life-changing to see the first Latina from an immigrant family to become the first female, one of two first female sheriffs in the state of California. That inspired many of us within that leadership as well. But also I want to emphasize the importance of what it meant to put all our hope, all our aspirations, all of our support. And when we provided the endorsement as a club, as well as myself, we told her, looked straight into her eyes, and we said, don't fail us. This is personal for us. This is our one shot to get it right. And if you're saying you're gonna clean up and push out the corruption, make sure it does right. Of course, we all know that no one is perfect. But I want to emphasize the importance of what it means to be accountable to those that have put us in these offices, to be transparent, to think that this is not something that we have earned on our own and we can do whatever we want with this office. The voters elected her. We elected her. My residents in District 5 in South San Francisco have elected me, and accountability and transparency in our law enforcement are two of the strongest pillars in which a just and safe society really needs to stand on. The investigations, what spoke out for me is that it really brings about grave concerns. Abuse of power, retaliation, a toxic work culture. And how many of us in our work, in our environment, have heard the term hostile work environment? Think about what that is for the men and women of that department in that office. Our community deserves better. Measure A is something that will allow at least a little bit of change that will set up for a lot more change. Of course, as we have spoke about here, it's about the standards of integrity and professionalism. This is not just about one individual, it's about safeguarding the well-being of our deputies, the staff, and the entire community. I know that numerous POAs and public safety officers are looking for this support from us, their local elected officials, and deserve to be supported. There's comments out there that saying that local elected should focus on local issues. Well, this is the connection for me. With all the multiple lawsuits, et cetera, that are being faced right now, one that is about $10 million claim against the county from the sheriff. This is coming out from the county's general fund. How does it affect South San Francisco? Through the numerous financial support that the county brings about. We talk about perhaps emergency management. We talk about all the other ways that we work together with the county. This is coming out of the fund. Think about all the claims that potentially could arise. It's going to affect the bottom line of the county. Am I worried about the financial status of the county? No, but I'm worried about the partnership and the collaboration, the financial support that can trickle down for South San Francisco. Taking a strong stance is never easy, but I also believe that at this point in time, how is a sheriff department going to continue moving forward after she herself has given that $10 million claim against that county? I don't know how that work can continue in a county that potentially will be divided. We have heard the saying, a house divided against itself cannot stand. But it means really that this divided department, whether it moves forward or not, it will not be able to withstand. I have to underscore the imperative importance, and I say these words very lightly and very important because they apply to myself too. Holding our elected officials to the highest standard is ensuring that we are all held accountable. Your vote is your power. We're not taking or removing voters' rights with this ballot measure. As a community, we must stand for something greater than ourselves. Principles of integrity, principles of justice, and the collective well-being of all. We're thinking and we're imagining and representing the men and women of law enforcement. And that's very important for me. There's ballot boxes everywhere. We have one at City Hall in the back. Cañada, College San Mateo, and Skyline College have each a ballot box so that students, young adults, can also submit their ballot on those ballot boxes. It's being made available. But I want to underscore my support for this measure, and the reason why I brought it up is because I want to make sure that our community knows. And again, I underscore this, that the importance of accountability, the importance of transparency, and safeguarding, again, those pillars that we all abide for. This is important that we move forward on this, and this is why I'm supporting this resolution on yes or nay.